watch what you say. It's recorded for posterity. Welcome to the second day of ZOE Empowers virtual trip. We have a real treat today. We're going to be heading off to Kenya, and we have Reagan Kabiria. Reagan, if you can wave so people can identify you. Reagan is the chief. He's not only the country manager for the Kenyan program, which is our largest single program, he's also the chief program officer, which basically means Reagan is in charge of the entire kind of program, making sure that the actual empowerment program is functioning correctly. He and his staff in Kenya do all the trainings worldwide, and Reagan's on the phone in normal years on an airplane, constantly going out and visiting programs and making sure everything is running well. So there's not a human being alive that can tell you more about what's happening in every country with ZOE and then Reagan. So it's a real treat. And we have some young people with us today that are recent graduates of the program. Blaine United Methodist Church partnered with this group. We had a group from Blaine that actually saw the group in their first week of the program. So I don't know if anyone who's joining us was part of that group. If you were, speak up, because it's wonderful to get testimonials of people that saw these young people at the very beginning and then again later on. But as we start, let's ground ourselves in prayer and let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for who you are and for what you have done. We thank you again for the privilege of being able to join with our brothers and sisters a half a world away to encourage and to be encouraged. And in all things, Lord, we ask that you join our time together by the power of your Holy Spirit, that you prepare our minds and hearts to see your miraculous power in our world, that you would allow us to encourage and to be encouraged. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, and in the power of your Spirit, we pray. Amen. Well, amen. And if I can ask everyone to mute, and then as we continue on, we'll be able to kind of hear. So just like yesterday, and for those of you who might not have been able to join us yesterday but are here today, I want to give just a really quick overview of ZOE's program, because ZOE's program, it's this 3-year community-based, indigenous-led empowerment program for orphaned and vulnerable children. It's not complicated, but there's a number of moving pieces. Because when Epiphany and her team, as we heard yesterday, when they initially designed the program, almost every organization working with vulnerable children that I know of starts off with the question, there's these vulnerable young people, what can we do to help them? But that was not Epiphany's question. Her question was, there's hundreds of millions of these vulnerable young people living and dying in extreme poverty. What would they need to be able to help themselves? And that difference in the initial question is a sea change in the actual program. So everything ZOE does is it's based on the theory of these young people have God-given gifts and skills. They can help pull themselves out of poverty. What they need are a few on-ramps, things that they can't do for themselves, resources they don't have access to. And if we can inject those small things into their lives, what they're able to accomplish is incredible. And so, as we said yesterday, ZOE's program, it's always led by people from the country of service. It's seen as a local endeavor in every country where ZOE's operating. And unless a community invites ZOE in, ZOE never enters that community. So we're in close partnership with the local leadership and the government leadership everywhere we operate. And the key part of ZOE's program is that it helps form a community for these young people. So what we have are the basic unit of the program or these empowerment groups. An empowerment group is 60 to 100 total orphaned and vulnerable children. And inside that 60 to 100 number, there's 20 to 30 child-headed households. And so those child-headed households, have biological sibling families. Each household is led by an eldest young person who's at least 12 years of age on up to 20 years old when they begin. And so what that piece allows for is a large age differentiation along with the younger siblings. Over the next 3 years, ZOE has 8 areas of intervention. So there's 8 kind of large areas where we want to make sure these young people are sustainably secure. And that's food security, housing, health and hygiene, child rights, so they're not being abused all the time, education, formal education if possible, or vocational training if that's more useful. We also want them to feel like they're fully a part of their community, to start businesses and be able to have access to income streams with diversified businesses, and also to have spiritual health, to know they're not beyond the love of God in Christ in ways that are never coercive, but always inviting. And the combination of those 8 things yields young people that are whole, and they're taking the lead in their own journey out of poverty. All right, that's a really brief introduction. Now what I'd love to do is take you to Kenya, and we're going to do our little hokey Google Earth thing again, and then Lindsay is going to cue us up with an introductory video that's actually from Rwanda, but the scenery is so familiar and the program's so familiar, it works for Kenya as well. But let me share my screen, and through the miracle of technology, we're going to start off at the Atlanta International Airport, because that's probably where a group from as many places as we are would meet up to go over and get a direct flight. And we'll leave from Atlanta to Kigali. This is what we did yesterday. We went to Kigali, which is the capital of Rwanda, and we packed into a van and we drove out and we spoke with Epiphany. And today we're going to leave from Kigali International Airport in Rwanda and go fly into the international airport in Nairobi, Kenya. So there we are, we're in Nairobi. Nairobi is a big, beautiful city, the capital of Kenya. And again, we get out of the airport, we pack into a van, and we drive out to Maua, Kenya. And this is where the offices for ZOE are located. And we spread out in concentric circles. So that's Maua. It's a fair-sized city in Kenya. And what we would do then is I want to pull out a little bit so you can see the terrain. It's beautiful and hilly. On our drive to Maua, we passed the equator. We stopped off at a little tourist trap, and they showed you how the water swirls in different directions on either side of the equator. If it was clear, we probably glimpsed Mount Kenya on our way in. And now we're in this beautiful area that has so many orphaned and vulnerable children. So that's our physical location. And now, Lindsay, can you kind of place our minds and hearts in there with the intro video?
My name is Nyandwi, and this is my brother Mukisha. We live in Rwanda. After our parents died and our hearts collapsed, we had no home, no food, and our neighbors looked down on us. All we had was each other. Anyone could see we needed help. But ZOE saw how we could help ourselves. With a grant from ZOE, we started a charcoal business. We were growing and saving every day. Our dreams of a better life finally seemed possible. But then, all of our charcoal was stolen. Again, we had no home and no food. But ZOE gave us community. They helped us start again. business owners. We are homeowners. We are leaders. We are builders. We are teachers. We are helpers. We are neighbors. We are family. We are dreamers. This is what empowerment looks like. The next time you see me, I will have accomplished even more. Now I dream of what we can do together. We are ZOE.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lindsay. And now, without further ado, we want to go directly to Kenya. And Reagan, you're muted, but we would love to place ourselves in your hands for the rest of the trip.
First, thank you so much, Gaston, for the introduction, and thank you, team, for coming to be part of this vision trip that you've taken to Kenya. I work with the ZOE, and more specifically with the children. And I mean, I work with them, I don't work for them. And I will say ZOE has been an amazing program. And thank you for committing your resources to be part of this program. Your prayers and resources have been really valuable to the children in ZOE program, ZOE family. And I don't know what would have been the fate of these young people if ZOE was not in those communities where we are working. And then first, let me say that you've really transformed the life of these young people. And today we're going to get testimonies of some of them, how their lives have been transformed. And this is just a representation of what is happening on the ground. And I remember when Cartwell came to visit the program, and he met a boy by the name Kenneth, who is with us today. He didn't believe this boy will make it in his life. But today he's a wonderful young man who has transformed not only his family, life of his family, but the rest of the community. And he has been challenging me as an individual, how small resources that we spend to these young people, how impactful they are in their lives. And then, as Gaston has said, ZOE has been as a family has become a hope to most of the hopeless young people. And so today we're meeting young people from Mumone, a community called Mumone. Mumone is a fig tree. That's a fig tree. So a village where they come from has a huge fig tree, and they got a name from that. And the group name is called Umoja. Umoja is togetherness. These young people chose that name. When we went to recruit them, they decided to call themselves Umoja. And that's the name that they have retained. One of the best things with this group of young caretakers or the young caregivers is that they are, even after graduation, they remain strong. They're still working together. They have not separated themselves, and they're working together. And they're going to share with you. So today we have Kenneth. One of the members of that group is called Kenneth Kremi. He is 21 years old. And we have a girl by the name Beatrice Moire. She's 23 years old. These are the young people that we're going to discuss with. Please open your heart and your mind as you listen to them. They may not have succeeded so much in many standards, but with the community standards, they are far ahead. They have been able to do much than what it was expected. And people never thought they could be this much. And they have become a shining star in the community where they come from. So we're going to share with the Kremi or Kenneth. He is the first one to speak to us. They are with Anne. Please feel free to listen to them. If something is not clear, feel free to ask them any question. Thank you for that.
Hello, Kenneth. Hi.
Hi. Okay. Praise God.
Praise
I'm
God.
Kenneth. Hi. Okay, I'm Kenneth. I'm born again. I'm the chairman of the Mumone Youth Group. I thank God for the day of today, for this privilege He has given me to talk with my partner. I want to share with you my my history. Okay. Before before I joined ZOE group, I was okay. I want to thank all my partner. Okay. Nataka kushukuru Mungu
I want to say thank you
kwa siku njema ambaye amenijalia siku ya leo.
because of the good day that he has given unto us
Amenipatia siku njema ya kuongea na nyinyi tena.
and the opportunity to talk to you.
Nataka kushukuru pia program facilitator wetu
I also want to say thank you to my program facilitator
kwa sababu ya mahali ametufikisha.
because of the far he has taken us.
Kwa sasa nashukuru tena kwa group yetu pia.
I want to say thank you because of my group.
Kwa sababu imenisaidia tena kujoin na kujuana na pamoja na nyinyi.
Yeah, because the group has helped me to know my partners and to know their family.
Na kupata usaidizi kwa upande wenu mpaka wa sasa.
I have gotten a lot of help from ZOE.
Kutokana na ZOE nimeweza kupata kazi.
Since I joined ZOE, I've been able to start businesses.
Nilienda kwanza nikapelekwa training.
ZOE organization first trained me on business.
Walipo ni train sasa wakanipatia pesa ya kuanzisha biashara.
After the training, I was given some money to start my business.
Wakati nilianzia shop yangu ya kwanza.
I started with a convenience shop.
Ndombele kutethia betu kwanza na ni kutethoka kimaisha.
And from that business, I was able to cater for my siblings. I was able to cater for their basic needs and my own needs.
Nilianzia na watoto wetu wawili kwanza, nikapeleka mmoja shule juu hakuwa amesoma.
I started by taking one of my siblings back to school who had dropped out of school.
Kuanjiria na biashara ndanjiria ndaika ilo ndombere wike mwana wetu skuru ngombere uanzia tite.
After I made some savings, I was able to take the other sibling back to school.
Sasa ndekuma ndaita ndamwikia secondary ekwere class 8.
And after after primary school, I was able to take him to secondary school.
Na itaru do mware tungi nware primary school.
And during that time, my sister was in primary school.
Kuma wendi do trenda anje ya biashara ko branda anje kidogo kidogo mwaka dhaira anje opi.
I continued with expanding my business through the savings that I was saving in my group table bank, and I got some loans, and I expanded my business, and I was able to take the other sister to secondary school.
Itara mbere tutare astima undinda anje kwa nje yangu ya kinyozi.
I also started a business of barbering, and because we didn't have electricity,
Idonda trenda uria savings idonda save tenda etanda anjiria nda ikra stima kwanza.
I went to our group table bank, and I got some loan from the savings that I had saved, and I installed electricity.
Ndikwanje ngweu ndikwanje ngoe kinyozi obura murungu antethakia tureta turaikwa seminar ingi twikirwe ya ni program ZOE.
I started down barbering shop, because the installation of electricity enabled me to run my barbering shop smoothly. And after that, we were taken for another training.
Tuikwa kanisani ro tere ndanje ya kutait.
I was trained about our spiritual life. I was trained about knowing the word of God in a better way during the revival meetings. And one of the things that I learned is about tithing.
Onde kutait ende ro ndanjiririe ndiko do prozindo wau itene rimwe ndiro itabira byonde ndanje ndombe to save ndora pikipiki embere CM.
And when I started typing, my life changed in another way, because that way my businesses expanded, and later I was able to buy my own motorcycle.
Pikipiki we are embere ya ndio yare CM embere.
My first motorbike had the registration number CM.
Onde kurianga iro chere kwenge ndaura yellow H FH na CM wende irainya.
My business expanded. My motorbike was working as a taxi, and the business expanded. I was able to buy 4 more motorbikes. I'm now an owner of 4 motorbikes.
Ido ndombere kwandika ntu bano bandikire batatu imona nkatani ngoyo kama tenta byanduka.
I have employed 3 people who ride the 3 motorbikes they work as taxis, and I use one for my business errands. I use that one to carry the stock for my shop.
Onde kumoiro ndekire DSTV.
Yeah, I was able to buy a television and install the DSTV.
Mwankadha ini yani yo per day mbona au 3,400 3,400 per day.
And from I use my DSTV to show movies, and during the football season, I make a lot of money. I make like 3,400 shillings in a day.
Kuma wende donda itereringi.
Continue.
Itaro wende de kuma onda ikora interview. Irio ndairingi ndarura kinyozi na salon.
My businesses continued very well, and in my barber shop, I started a salon.
Iringi ndarura ringi M-Pesa.
And I also started an M-Pesa business. An M-Pesa is a money transfer business in Kenya.
Okay, ende kumau idonda riera ringi iteneranda ndeko ya kizo interview ndaona na mwankadha iringi ndi na plots imwe daure plot last year.
I'm so grateful, because ZOE has enabled me to achieve all this, and from what I have gotten from all my business, I've been able to buy a piece of land.
Okay, de binge bimponete kizoe mburite ng'ambe o inya na mburi 6 na ndarithia nguku ingi icho mbitaga nkendia nkeya ringi ngachokia nkendia ngachokia ringi biashara yetu.
Okay, I have also bought 4 cows, 6 goats, and I have a lot of chicken, which I usually sell, and the money I get, I plow back to my business.
Okay, ki community na rwimbo mbaotethia on December no ntuku itatu tomba kuria kana kunywa itene ria December mbechira mbithera nsiviti mbitaga nkaura mitu komba kwa antu baria batina thiungu.
And because ZOE has shown me the importance of giving back to the community, during Christmas or during December, I usually buy gifts for the children who are vulnerable in my community. I buy things like flour and I give to the vulnerable families so that they can celebrate with us during Christmas.
Okay, na nkwendene kanisa nero ringi iturio wau kwana tutethagia itene ria kwanza tutumawa tweta kuvisitira babe thibitari babongwa benchera tweta twabarombera twababira twinavyo kidogo kidogo kiria twinavyo.
I'm also a member of our local church youth fellowship, and we have a welfare where we usually go and visit people who are in the hospital. Sometimes we go visit those who are in jail and old people in our community, and we help them with what we contribute.
And before ntare akintu ringi kiumbi kia utethia mantu eu ntumbumbikia utethia kwa through ZOE.
Before that, life was not like the way it is right now. What I'm experiencing is a dream come true, because before I joined ZOE, things were not like this.
Nontu itara my dad apasire aropashe kurianga my mom no kuringa na pressure ero muchie no ara tutiara ita.
This is because when my dad passed on, my mom passed through a lot of stress, and she also later passed on, and I was left to take care of my children, of my siblings.
So itara tutiere irio itaru twere kuria thina antu betu bondo baturia twera atutethia atwira kwanyu kuigura.
I remember after the death of my parents, we used to go to people's homes to ask for any help, but they used to reject us and tell us, you go to your parents' grave and ask for help from them.
O itari wende yonkona kone ithinera tukilukirire thai tutumba ukilukira nontu ZOE ni tutethetie na komba kona viunde na viona no ntethi na mungi.
I am grateful because all that is behind us, and ZOE has enabled us to change our life, to transform and change our lives, and now we are living our dream.
So itene ribu mbangite vision ye kwamba ngite murungu ampa mbecha buboya saidi ira ndi nacio bumbe kurinyaniana no bana nkomba utethio kubarira mbecha skuru na bira bingi batenavyo bira murungu abondethia nkomba ba.
I have a vision of expanding my businesses, and start helping more vulnerable people and orphans in my community, and help them achieve their dreams the way ZOE has helped me achieve mine.
Okay. Igo bubu kan na bubo chokeria nkatho no ntwa mantu butethete na bwita moyo otethia bangi na bangi.
I want to say thank you because of what you have done in my life, and I would urge you to continue with that spirit of helping children and transforming their lives the way you have transformed mine.
So nikento kran kiombe kiobwera no bura murungu abutethie na bwita nkoro cia ukiria bangi na bangi nontu kwina bangi na baina thina uyu ndi nacio.
May God help you so much so that you can have more and more, so that you can reach more children, because we have a lot of children who are passing through the challenges that we were passing through, and I would like to see them change their lives.
Okay. Boya.
Thank you. God bless you.
Kenneth, we are so proud of what you have accomplished. It is amazing how far you have come.
Kureiba sana Kenneth non tubana gukinyite boya nontu nutite manto maingi sana.
Yani kuiboya nontu proceed uba tutethetie.
He says, thank you so much for encouraging word.
And may we ask you some questions, because we are so inspired by what you have done.
No bambore.
He says yes.
Will, you typed in a question on the chat box. Would you feel comfortable unmuting and asking your question?
I do. And Kenneth, it is impressive. Thank you for what you've shared. I was wondering what the people in your community who are not part of ZOE, how they treat you now that you've had so many successes.
Nanti bago kashabungi naru arere one thing kuchonzo titere ni atantu ba ko naru are.
Antoaba inge bora bambora kiavai.
Today in my community,
papa ingi baraba mbita inara mbe bambera batedere kinto birabe na bio barabe na rusi bambe the chief guest ntayazi.
Many people come to ask for support from me, so they see me as a resourceful person in the community, and they even invite me as a guest of honor in some occasions, like the pre-weddings. I'll go there and help in fundraising or school fees occasions in my community.
Very good. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
And while you all think of questions as well, I think Brett has a question also.
Please, okay.
Brett, do you feel comfortable unmuting and asking your question?
Kenneth, thank you so much for your time today. So I was curious, how did you first hear about ZOE? How did you first get connected with it?
Oh, tukwembera buranda ethire kenda bonda menyere kundi kia ZOE katwaire twatangazirwa kanisene turelezwa kwi kundi kiumbi kiotethia na niana baro fans batena achiari so nderitani.
So the first thing that he did was he heard about it from the church. He went to the church and he had announcement from the church that this organization in the community that is supporting young people like him. If we so wish he can attend the first meeting. That's how he came to know about ZOE.
Ilionde kweta ilionde elesero buru ikundi bira kiwita mbere na ndai kwande mo patio ikundi kiuna imbatio totethuka no tindare athi no ikwenda otethwo.
So when they announced all the kind of children that the organization was looking for, he was so happy because he felt that he can fit to join that program.
Thank you. And I heard you say in the beginning that you were chairman of the group now. What does that mean?
Chairman wekundi kwethira we role model.
When you are chairman, the chairman of the group needs to be a role model to other young people.
Nonto teme agwira antu baithira bena ngoinjia na kintu kia kuke ngoi cia kuitebu ino mwaka mbere cia kuchethira ibu ikendo me akolindi bange na example.
For you to be effective chairman, you need also to work hard and demonstrate by action that you are a leader. So you also, if it is business, you must run your business very well so that others can learn from you.
Kendo bera bamenyere ngoi cio abera menyere yere kwa na ibon to menyerete ngakara 1 2 3 na ibon butheti ona ukamenyerete ngoi kendo
so that when you are the chairman and you share with them and you visit one of them the business where the business is not doing well, and you need to tell them you need to work hard so that you can follow what I've done because my business is already successful.
alafu wabonia steps iro withite kendo kinya burokari kenda ndi bamenya okwelewa wabonia na example engo yetu.
So you also need to give, you should, as a chairman, you don't need to be mean. You need to share out information for others to learn from you. And giving yourself as an example, if you have succeeded in the business, bring them on and train them. That would be the best example that you can give to them.
Alafu ke into binge no byo mtu abitharia bara olidete okethira mtu fulani ati kumba kwendia 1 2 3 into bira bindu kene no wita okayukina bira byaku eta wa mnenkera akendia bira bukona bwasha alafu kulingana na biro mnenkera ibyo mutethia wathi stock eku ina ni okayukia wa mutethi na stock kidogo nethi bag imwe wa mnenkera akendi bira kona bwasha profit.
Also, as a group, I have never heard they do. The chairman says he has what they do also in their group. He has also introduced something else, like if you have products that are almost expiring and they have short expiry dates, they share that among the group members who have business so that you can finish that stock before expiry. And then you can buy new products and this person returns to you new products so that has long expiry. So they ensure that also they check on one another, not to like waste their products, not their product to be expired, especially that live in communities where some products are not very moving.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Kenneth, so when did your group graduate? Because it's been 3 years, so they're recently graduated. How old are you and how old are your siblings?
Are kwera group elu ya graduate rate na wena miaka yana na ben wena miaka yana na ibadi kumarita yo.
Okay, kiana beto kwena unde na miaka 21.
I am 21 years old.
Alafu unde na Pamela and Miriam.
I have Pamela and Miriam.
And Blanche and Raphael.
And Blessings and Raphael.
Yeah.
How old are they?
One diatite na 18.
Miriam is 18 years old.
Pamela
is 18 years old.
Miriam 16.
Miriam is 16 years.
Blessed 12.
Blessed 12 years.
Raphael 11.
And Raphael 11 years.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Andrea, you had a question as well.
Yes, thank you, Kenneth, for sharing your story with us. I am a nurse, and hence my question. How do you feel the ZOE Empowers program has impacted the health of you, your siblings, and the members of the ZOE group that you work with?
Okay, thank you. Today, Kenneth, Inas, na tangwena na mantu ya health. So aro ya today ke woke program wezo ere ne te health enu no na njire no ere ko ibo babo ma bo te tiana ben na pa pantura enu.
Oh, ke dai rutera na rod dai ba tu te tiano to. Ko na mo ano mo ai to agirite nyumba through to group.
As health, one of the things that we have done as a group, we visited one of us. He didn't have any house to live in. We built a shelter for him.
Tukarita no mantore ne akobambe ko roikara intobia kobambe jara woman
we have also been taught how to use toilets and how we need to, the reason why we need to clean our hands after visiting the washrooms.
Na twadhambi nto twabie twakuria nto bieka tikaomuka roe twabieka boya kenda dira tukae binto biena roe.
Also, I have learned on how to wash my dishes and the other utensils and how to dry them outside and use the sun rays to disinfect anything in my utensils.
O inazo ingene atwere itangi kenda tumba kwikara rwiro rwaya rwa kunywa na rwa kwaina na bobangyani.
Also, at our home, we have also learned the need of using boiled water for drinking. So we have also a tank where we store the water that we use as a family for drinking. Na vijana kwe buba thoma bwe vijana mantia murimo kana anything.
Ina ke murimu itoritanitwe muramirire ya boys burabari ya antu tweta seminars toritani ukariento murume bro bati ko behave kana bro bati koria kendo tikawa tu mirimo nti HIV mante toritani.
Also as boys, we've learned also issues with reproductive health. And he has also learned about HIV/AIDS, how to prevent yourself from getting the virus, and how to take care of the people around you who are living with HIV/AIDS. Na COVID?
Na COVID la itoritani nayo ko vaya mask kona kudhamba njara after 20 minutes kova sanitize.
So he has also learned about COVID, washing hands after every 20 minutes. You need to wash your hands. The need of wearing mask, face mask, and even sanitizing your hands if you don't have flowing water.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from our group? You can just unmute and ask if you have a question.
Yeah, I had a question. First of all, thank you, Kenneth, for everything you've done for your community. But my question is, throughout this process, what's been the most important part of your experience and what's been most helpful to you and your experience at ZOE?
Oh, Kenneth, Egoria today. Egoria owe kucho leo yetekizo Kuina manto ya mea ya brua ya mea ya ndathomere kabisa. Kana imanto yako yaraonete ya mea kizo bila byumba kwenda kwira antu bangi bwayo.
Kento kiramo mbekia kwira antu bangi no vera atire kutumira kintu kiraona menyera no menyera.
One of the best experience that he can share with you is to use whatever you have, use it well. That whatever you have, make use of it well.
Thank you.
Na kira nakiona tia kwende murungu otethetie wi wenka ubatithira wona na ukaithira wina nkoro ya utethia muntu ungi kenda anche nawe na thina bura wari athina.
And he also says that from also I have learned the need of sharing what I have, because God has blessed with you has blessed you with what you have. So you don't need to keep that. You need to share it out to other people.
Okay,
That's wonderful. Are there other questions? Just unmute and ask if you have questions.
I just had a comment. I just wanted to say, hey, Kenneth, I met you last year and it is so good to see you. It's so good to hear all the new businesses that you've started. You are such a success story. You're such an inspiration and I'm supporting you. Keep it up.
Sorry, please go ahead. I could have now wanted last year. Sana na kweli no kwithira mo bara goteta cia
anya ninkoirwa sana no ndo bakoyo ntembelea na ambilela kona ngwira nkorita ithira ne o mambu aka ne ithira ne orongo.
He says, thank you so much for coming to see my business. So you have my testimony. You know how much I've been able to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Impressive.
Kenneth, what is your dream for the land that you have purchased?
Mda onde na yuan kwenda kwaka plots kendende rente viantu bara ba koreta man karenti tuo ntetha nayo na mbechiri kuoneka kombo tethi na bara bangi bakwetu community yetu ingi.
He says that in his village, there are teachers who are living there. They don't have a place to live. So they travel from far distance. So what he is doing, he wants to construct rent houses so that people can rent them and they live near the school, near his home, where the school is.
That's fantastic, Kenneth. Wow. Are there other questions? Go ahead, Reagan.
Maybe Kennedy talked of something on M-Pesa. He says he has M-Pesa. He is an agent where we use, he has been identified as an agent for money transfer using mobile phone. So people in the community will come and deposit money to his shop or withdraw from his shop. And he has been given that agency. He also has a bakery. He bakes cakes. He has employed people to do cakes. And he has multiple business. If you go to his place, especially when there's soccer, you find all the young people coming to his premises because his home has been converted into a kind of a theater for where you show more movies, and people want to watch Europe Cup. Is so good at that. So he has a huge DSTV at a big screen, and people come from the village to come and they watch the soccer from his home. But they pay at a fee.
That's fantastic. Reagan, how many people does he employ, and what kind of employee does he look for?
Okay, ke pikipiki mbandikite batatu.
In his motorbikes, he has 4 tax motorbikes. So I mean 3 motorbikes for taxing. So he has employed 3 people.
Then ke kinyozi mbandikite mtu mwana ke salon onge baile.
He has a barber shop. In the barber shop, he has employed 1 person and 1 person on a hair salon who attend to ladies.
Alafu ke ngumna cho indua amandazi andua pedande na anto baile bompikeria.
And he has employed 2 people who transport and they sell cakes.
Okay,
So how much? Tell me how much do you earn on a daily basis?
Okay. Mba ni ke pikipiki mbona 900. Ke ngum mbona around 500. Ke DSTV mbona 1300 or 3000. Then ke ndukana ro imbanda kyo ngiri 3
Profit. So in
profit.
A profit.
Okay. Ke nduka ke profit mbona around 800 1000 per day. Alafu ke ngumna kana madazi mbona no around 800 500 kula ko hariwe ko bui.
Toto interest yeku profit yeku inande ni ombechiana kana on a monthly.
Profit pande mbona around 28 25.
So you will get around average of $25 to $28 per day, which is a huge deal. In Kenya, more than 60%. Less than 40% of Kenyans earn more than $1 in a day. That's statistics. So he's above many Kenyans that earns more than $1 in a day.
It's amazing. Really. And what does he look for in his employees? Why did he hire the people he did?
Okay. Bandika kenda mtu ite kimaisha nonto kuitar nyanda ura kyango ina ngati yangoe lakini ite nande nango ente bati kuichinya nila kurutango ina anto bare obat bente nango ba kwenda kurutango. So
for him we'll go for youth that are vulnerable and the ladies who are in need, who are extremely in need. These are the people that he employs. He employs ladies and the youth that are vulnerable.
Amen. Amen. And Reagan, I just noticed the time. Our time is running short, and I think we have another young person, so we may need to switch.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Can you tell Kenneth how proud we are of him and thank him for sharing with us?
Very impressive.
Oh, see.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you.
Asante.
God bless you. Thank you.
Is there another young person we're speaking with?
Yeah, Beatrice.
Okay, great. Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone in our group. I let the time get away. Kenneth was so fascinating, but we will move to Beatrice. And Kenneth is probably doing extraordinarily well for his group, but every family in his group should have multiple businesses and be sustainably self-sufficient by this point as well. So while he might be a star, others are doing well as well. There's Beatrice.
Hi.
Hello, Beatrice.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Beatrice. I'm saved and I love Jesus. I take this opportunity to thank you for giving me this hour to communicate with you and to share some things with you. I have all the privilege to thank you. This hour, I'm Marie Beatrice, and I'm 23 years old. I'm so happy for this time that I have this time. I'm so grateful to communicate with you and to share my lifestyle with you. I'm so successful through this group. So through this one group, I'm a businesswoman. I'm a business leader. That's why I'm so grateful to communicate and to share all things that I've passed through challenges, through successful. I'm so grateful to communicate with you. Right now, I'm a restaurant manager. I'm a restaurant manager, my own restaurant, and I'm running it with full joy, and I'm so happy to run it. When I'm called by other people, I'm manager. Right now, I have 2 restaurants. I've opened 2 restaurants through this group that have been supporting me a lot. I have achieved a lot of things through this group. That's why I thank you. And I take this opportunity to thank our director and even our SOE facilitators. I'm so grateful for them and for the chance that they are giving me. That's why I'm so grateful for you, even to communicate with you. Through this business, the benefit that I have get through this, my whole business that I've been open, the restaurant, I have achieved to buy a lot of things. E.g., I buy a fridge, I buy
wardrobe, the big wardrobe. I buy a lot of things that some of them that I cannot explain. Even my restaurant is so beautiful. When you come, you'll be enjoy and be happy and be pleasure to come eat again. Through this Zone group, it has provided me with a lot of things. From the first go, I go to school, I have my own certificate of catering and hospitality. That's why I bake my own cakes. I have many things, even in weddings, I'm the one who been invited to bake cakes. In birthday, I'm the one who, in our community and in different places, I'm the one who invited to bake some cakes, and they are so delicious. But yeah,
Aria gemero tule mo. Ani auto.
yes.
Aria gemero ani.
Orero yo tawe.
Okay, so,
Okolokela kundiki poneta a lot of things.
Through ZOE, I have achieved a lot.
Non to kumande kumake this group that see a lot of challenges.
Because the things that I've seen, I would have not gotten them initially because before joining ZOE, I had passed through a lot of challenges.
Okolokela soe indombira kwethira thini atu akolokela the first
the problems that we were going through initially.
Dai tuombere kwa sote nditionde.
Right now we don't get them anymore.
Non to the beneficiary of this group.
Because I am now a beneficiary of ZOE.
But nimefanya bombete. Ila tu akolokela kumara my dad yako pass.
When my dad passed on,
totiro na mama wakwa.
We were left with my mom.
Na niwa katweka na kwa written nonto bwa neighbors nonto atena mturara ya supported kirewe.
And our neighbors and some of our relatives started threatening her. They wanted to take her land because she had no one to defend her.
Ba mwere dhina sana.
She went through a lot of stress.
Mwanka akinyako drop school.
And she decided to leave, and we also dropped out of school.
Nonto school fees inekwethera ithina kwethera tuke make kurerwa.
Because the little money that we were getting from working in people's farm, it was not enough to pay our school fees and to buy food at the same time.
Kwa tu kama mkinyake group ke women group atikiomba ko appreciate nonto atena nyake mtuke kumutethia.
My mom, when she left, she went to women groups to see whether she can get any help, but she did not get any help, and she decided not to come back.
Nionda decided to ibarua.
I decided to take up the role of the parent in my family and started looking for casual jobs.
Naendelea nkaona chiako clinic lot na kubethia mantu yangia clinic mochi yone nkaithia nkebethia thara clinic.
I was working in people's homes, like washing their clothes, cleaning their compounds, and fetching water.
Kumaunda itirenda kulokire nontu kwiro baitare mubakwa breakfast renge bakwata bakwa lunch bakwata.
So sometimes they would pay me with money, and sometimes they would pay me with food like breakfast or lunch.
Kumawinda ombire obiranda onainde tanga tethia bangi jana ngatethia mamu kwa kwamba utukitabio.
So the little money that I was getting, I was going back home and giving, and I used to feed my siblings with them, and I used to send some to my mom.
Endi kumande kona ikudeko join ikundikia Song group.
But when I joined ZOE group,
benefit
my life changed, and now I've been able to achieve my dreams.
Sister bako baba nini bari tindekwa.
I have been able to take my sisters back to school.
Na inyama moko wengwanda mwinda mokeria thira kiwango kingi different na kirari.
I have also called my mom back home because now we have money and no one can threaten us anymore.
Na dhaitwa ya so appreciated by all community.
And right now we are appreciated by the community, by our neighbors. Even my mom is respected in the community.
nontu bwaramparitite na atumanite nabo
because of what I have been able, because of the courage that I gained through ZOE to take them from where they were up to where they are right now.
mbenya bakia kwithia bena occasion kai na invitation batikiomba twalika
Before, even when they were having occasions, the community members, they never invited us because they didn't see any value in us.
but thai tutwithira twi the first twi bambere kwitwa
But right now, we are the first people to be called in such occasions.
nontu ukulukira ikundi kia zoi batwitire twaita training ya my training ya kurima
And because Zoe trained us on different trainings like agriculture, and I trained them about agriculture.
na tureta ndajiria itwero ndanjiria yo kwetu nja
And I usually do farming in my small piece of land.
na itwombira oketha the first round turona irio bira twonere twomba witethia nabio
And the first round, I was able to get a good harvest, and that harvest has been able to help us in feeding my siblings, and also got some seed from what I harvested.
na mwanka thai no twendelea kurima twethire twina new model kurima na inya thaa no tukurima na inkumia harvest a lot of things.
Even right now, I continue with farming, and right now I have planted some crops in my farm like maize and beans, and I'm hoping to have a very good harvest.
Renge itwaikirwe renge I thank nkutha kuchokeria so nkathi no ntiba twikire training ya health and hygiene.
I want also to thank Zoe because they trained us about health and hygiene.
Twamenya kwimenyera twitwingwa kimiri gitu.
I have learned how to take care of my body and to take care of my sisters.
Mbura twambikia kwithira tukimenyera compound yetu kwithira itina ruko na inya nyumba cietu itina ruko ciongwa na kwithira twitheretie batu kimwiri.
We now keep our homes very clean, our compound, and even our bodies, we are very clean.
Batwere itangi bia wikira rwi kenda twithira twina rwi rutheru rwa kunyua.
We also learned the importance of boiling drinking water and keeping it safe.
Twetire training ya business.
I was trained about business.
Ila tuambira ila twarita no kumenyera kara wina koka ile kidogo umepewa.
I was also trained about saving, about how to manage the small income that we get in our businesses.
Au ni also group baile bantu us small amount of money.
And later Zoe gave us some money.
Ila ndetenda omba kwanjia ni business yako ya kaduka.
And that is what I used to start. I used that money to start a small shop.
Ila yumite mwanka empumetheria aranda umite mwanka ndakinyande.
Which has grown and expanded into a restaurant and to 2 restaurants now.
Na yeah, na nyadai nkubanga kurura ende a big bakery.
I'm also planning to open a big bakery because I know how to bake, and even people invite me in weddings to bake their cake.
Yeah. Enge itwetire training ya Zoe facilitators but we create another training.
Zoe also took us for another training.
Ya reproductive health.
On reproductive health.
Ila yombere kututethia twamenya ningwa ndamya gwikinga ningwa na kwithira kimenyera mwiri yokwa na mathina ya maingi.
I learned about how to take care of myself, take care of my body, and take care of my sisters.
Na kwithira tutita utangatanga tu ya kwithira twina early pregnancy.
We learned how to take care of ourselves and to prevent ourselves from getting early pregnancies.
Na thai kuringana na process banditanire thai even in our church.
And from what I learned from Zoe, I've been able to help other people in our church, especially young people.
Nya thai almost seminars ka kanisa nyingi kana ke congregation ya ladies kana small youth bamba likagwita obariria.
Most of the churches in our community, they invite me to train young girls about reproductive health.
Kana school tia areake.
And even in girls' schools, I usually go there and train them about reproductive health.
Yangembeteta kuita community akiva on Sunday.
Even on Sunday, I am attending another one, and I am going to train them about reproductive health and life skills.
I have that good health.
From that training, you can see I am very healthy.
And I'm so strong.
Mm.
You can see that I'm so strong. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Beatrice, we are so
Yes.
proud of everything you have done. It is amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, Reagan, you're muted.
Yes.
So, thank you, Gaston. When we are sana non to body the temperatures. Or the way sana.
Thank you.
And I think Gary has a question for you. And I apologize to everyone on the team. We've gone over time, and we will wrap things up. But this has been so much fun. Gary, can you ask your question?
Yes.
Unmute. Gary, unmute.
Gary.
How many people are in your village?
Tena community na ntu baba ingi sana. Yeah.
They are very huge community.
Hey.
Normally it will be around the village will be like between like 2,000 people.
Hey. No. Around 300, 400 people.
Or 400. It's a small community. And one and two
Oh, around 100.
Okay. So it comes from that its own immediate clan is like 100 people in the clan, but the community is big. So the village might be like like 400 people.
Ah, fantastic. And we probably have time for one more question. Does anyone have one final question?
I have a question, Gaston. I was wondering what your favorite dish to serve at your restaurant is, Beatrice.
Beatrice, ya go ribio uru amuno. Oderi negu.
Also, ndua chapati.
She'll serve chapati. Chapati is more of like a tacos.
Chips.
And chips are French fries.
Then even all types of meat.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us.
That is fantastic. And Beatrice,
Yes.
we all wish that we could be there in person so we could taste the delicious cakes that you make. But we will have to wait until after the pandemic to do that.
She says, once when you decide to come, I'll make you special dish just to appreciate how much you have been able to help me.
Fantastic. And please, Beatrice, we are so proud of you. You have done so well and helping other people to make their lives better. It is inspiring to us.
Thank you.
Will you please tell your group that we are sorry we could not visit with everyone, but we also are praying for them and we love them as well.
She says also, we keep you in our prayers every time.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for giving us the gift of your time today. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
She says, God bless you so much.
And expand their territories.
And expand your territories.
Yes, it opened many ways for you to assist more and more. And even as God will open us new ways to assist others. And my prayer is to be a better and a big and hotelier manager of big hotel in our country.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, guys, and I mean, thank you so much.
You have our support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that is fantastic. We're so grateful, Beatrice and Kenneth, and thank you for your time. What a gift. Reagan, thank you for your time. We didn't get to speak with you as much, but we are so grateful for what you do. And everyone on the US.
Sorry.
And everyone on the US trip, I want to tell you tomorrow, same link, same time. If you want to invite people, come on. We are going to Zimbabwe tomorrow, and we'll visit with a group partnered with Christchurch. And so we're so excited to continue this journey. And you can just see what a loss if these young people had not had this opportunity to become all that God has for them. What a loss that would be for our whole world. So we're grateful, and may God bless you all. We will see you tomorrow, same link, same time, and we thank you for joining and encouraging these young people and being encouraged by them. God bless everyone. Bye. Bye, Beatrice.
Bye.
Bye. God bless. God bless. Love you.